Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Sit Down, Shut Up. Hope you all doing well tonight. Bit of a last-minute stream, but we got it going. So today we have, well, their CFN's Ruby Heart. Their in-game, their Discord in Discord name is a set of numbers. So let's bring them on. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, how's it going? So I know your Discord name is a bunch of numbers. Do you have a name you prefer to go by?
Um, I guess you can just call me idle space, I guess, or just idle
Idle.
Rex.
Okay, cool. All right, well, so
Yeah.
welcome on. So I know it's been a last minute thing. I may not have been as prepared as usual, and I appreciate your patience there. I updated my drivers, and then all of a sudden I needed to compile shaders. So anyway,
Hey, all good.
tell me a little bit about what's going on in your game. If you have been, what issues you've been kind of been facing, or what stuff you kind of need help with. What do you think?
Um, to be quite honest with you, I'm just getting back into this game after a few months off,
Okay.
and before that, not too much time playing with that either, so I don't really know.
Okay.
Um,
Fair enough.
I guess just to find out or just to see what kind of feedback I get.
Gotcha. Okay, so I don't know if we played before, but if you had to give yourself a level where you're at, what do you think that would look like? I know you don't play ranked a lot, so just curious what you think.
Um, If I'm playing well, then I'm having good games with master players.
Okay, fair
If
enough.
I'm playing bad, then anybody is fair game.
All right, fair
So,
enough. Cool,
yeah.
man. So I invited you to the custom room. I think your CFN is Ruby Heart, right? I think you mentioned that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I went ahead and invited you to the custom room. So the way this works normally is we'll run a first to three, kind of get a sense of where you're at, what you might be struggling with, and all that. And then after that, we'll do a little replay review. So we'll take a look at one of our games that we played, and then maybe I'll grab one of the replays from your CFN. We'll take a look at one of those. To kind of get an idea of like what's been happening in your games. I know you haven't been playing as much, so hopefully it'll be useful to you to see a little bit of replay review on both. After
Yep.
that, well, if there's a specific scenario or two we want to look at, we'll hop in the lab, take a look at that in depth. And then afterwards, if there's time after, we can run it back, do another first to three if you're up for that. So, sound reasonable?
Project. That's all good.
Cool. So, go to queue up so I queued up. So I'm going to deafen in Discord while we're running this because I tend to talk a lot during that. I don't want to impact anything you're doing. I also may
You know,
not
bro.
rematch right away as I continue to articulate what I'm seeing, right? So, all right, man. With all that, good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Okay. Ruby Heart. So I'm not sure if I played this person, but I want to say I have a while back. I don't know if they're using the same CFN back then. Might have been one of the rooms that was open for Fight Rise or whatever. So let's see what's going on. My player, rocking the purple. Mm. Okay. Oh, nice. Not sure if that's supposed to be an ODDP. Maybe missed it. Okay. Okay, just got whiff punished there, I think. So far, what I'm seeing, I don't mind anything they're doing. They're playing neutral, trying to figure out how I like to play neutral. Oh, that was nice. Oh. Okay, no anti-air. Okay, wake reversal's good. I like the idea. Oh, good anti-air there. Oh, wake up low is pretty good. I've been shimmying a lot. Level 2. Oh, that was nice. That was nice. That was a nice fan mix, right? So my level 1, obviously really high value for her. Wake up even better. Kill 3 birds with 1 stone, right? They had mentioned a little bit of their Wi-Fi stuff been problematic for them, so we'll see if that makes a difference later on the set. So wake up, back heavy kick may not have been what they wanted. Reversal? Oh, just as good. So offensively, I don't mind what they're doing, right? Fan mix-ups seem good. Using drive rush effectively there. Some overhead situation. So I think the issue right now might be a little bit more in neutral. Just trying to get in without fan. Oh, okay. Are they going to throw at me? Let's see. So a lot of fan mix, right? Oh, okay. See the counter DI. I wasn't sure if level I wasn't sure if level 1 would kill there, so I went for level 2 just to make sure. That's a common thing for me. I think I'll go for level 2 there. So again, a lot of fan mix. I think that's fine. But once the fan mix stops working, I think we'll see what happens here because I've been defending it okay. Oop. Oh, okay. Oh, nice overhead. That's nice. Okay, they do tend to block in those situations, right? Not really being aggressive against that. Wake up DI, probably not what they wanted. Oh! Deserve to die from that. Oh, man, that was terrible. Oh, my gosh. Oh, man. I had that. Oh, again? Okay. They are pressing in that plus situation. Alright, it'll spend level 3 makes a lot of sense here. I'm going to be burned out, I think. Pretty close. Fan? Uh-oh. Yeah, the burnout there really, really punishing, right? So, what I'm seeing so far, I think, is that they have a pretty good sense of how to play my offense, right? Running the fan mix, trying to get me to parry or block, right? And I think if I just start adjusting to how they want to play that neutral, right? One more guess. Throw? Okay. Corner defense-wise, what I'm doing here obviously is just pure strike throw for the most part, so they have to guess every single time. It's a little tough to deal with, I think. Oh, that was nice. Meaty fan? Oh. That was a nice whiff punish. Nice whiff punish. A little closer fan there. Yeah. Unfortunately, going for DP there obviously is going to cost him the game. For max combo there, but yeah, I mean, again, like I think fan mix-up is really strong. I think they're doing a very good job with that, opening me up with that. But once the fan mix kind of doesn't allow them to get in, I think they struggle a little bit in the mid-range. Like what buttons to press. Oh, that's nice jump in. Okay. A lot of backing up too, right? Oh, I backdashed. Okay, so level 1 here, obviously a lot of utility for my 4 stocks. 3 stocks like I stole it there. Oh, shit. Oh! Yeah, so something else I'm noticing now, and what I've been kind of getting away with, is that they're backing up after a lot of interactions, right? So what'll happen is... Right there, see? They're moving. Oh, that was a nice whip point. Hey, basic down, how's it going? Oi. Jab me, you demon. Alright, so 2 guesses here, right? Let's see if I can do it. That was not the right button at all. Oh, there we go. I can finally hit confirm. Okay, so, corner offense obviously is kind of skewed toward the offensive player, obviously. What's tough there, I think, is that because they can't throw fans, right, the same way they normally would in neutral, they have a tough time dealing with corner offense, right? So I think, again, what's happening here is their fan mix is really strong. They're really, really good at that. When they're able to open me up with that, it works really well. But when it comes to patient neutral, like that instance right there, they tend to back up, and that's what's getting them hit. So let's bring it back on here. Oh, what's going on? There we go. Hey, buddies, what do you think?
That Ken leg is devious, man. The crouching medium kick, bro. I'm trying to walk outside of the space of it, and it keeps catching me.
Yeah. I was talking about that on stream too. It's deceptive almost, right?
Yes.
It's like it seems to hit you further than it really is, and a lot of it has to do with the 7-frame startup, right? So anyway, what I was noticing was you do really, really, really well with fan mix-up, right? Like you're able to throw fans effectively, open me up, right? Like almost all of the interactions we had, if I got hit by the fan, I couldn't defend it, right? There were situations where, it mixed me up with overhead, driver slow, etc. So you do that really, really well, right? And you're able to corner me pretty well. Where I think it kind of fell apart for you, though, was if I was able to put you in a situation where you couldn't throw a fan. So if I cornered you or if I walked up inside of that fan range, it felt a little awkward, right? And then from there, it was a lot of crouch and medium kick, right? Like most of the time what would happen is you would get close, or I would get close, you get uncomfortable, or it felt like you got uncomfortable, and then you try to back up out of that range, and then I would clip you, right? So but otherwise, I thought that most of the game, it really could have went either way, right? There's a couple situations where you had me cornered and it was difficult for me to get out, and similarly other way too, right? So when you were cornered, it's hard to get out. So I'm going to share my screen in Discord here and open up one of the replays, and we can talk about what's happening. So stream this.
Here you go.
And open up one of this. So let's take a look at game 5, I think, is the one I want. Or I guess it's game 4. This one. Okay, let's take a look at this replay here. So let me know if you can see my screen. We can go from there.
Yeah, I can see it.
Cool. All right, so this is the last game we played. Let's take a look at some of the things that was happening here. I know for the first 1 or 2 games, I think we were both trying to play a little conservative, obviously, as we try to feel each other out. But I think here it was probably a good indication of how you normally run offense, right? So let's just take a look. All right, good jump. Okay, so something I'll talk about here, and it's kind of interesting, is that you landed this jump in clean, right? So from here, since I'm standing, obviously, my should have a meterless conversion here, right? Like
I didn't like that I used drive there.
Yeah. You don't have to, right? I mean, you could use drive. It's obviously an option for you, right? But not using drive, I think, is probably better in this situation since you land the jump in here, a steep punish counter, right? So for sure, your crouch and medium punch will hit, right? So going into like, what is it, crouch medium punch heavy Rienbu, or what is it, stand heavy punch heavy Rienbu, whatever that route is, or heavy spin into light cartwheel. is probably better, right? Maintaining that
Mhm.
drive range, right? So just something to keep in mind when as you play the game, right? Obviously, this is totally fine too. Like this isn't wrong necessarily, right? I think it's it's just as it is a level of correct in that you're spending meter to do a thing, and it's it's fine, right? It's just that as you climb up more and as you play some of these higher level players, this 3 bars that you're missing here will start to make a difference. So let's see what happens. So getting conversion here. All right, go for throw. Good. All right, so mix me up again, right? So what do I do here? Reversal, right? So you've been
Yeah.
going for that. And again, don't get me wrong, this is a really strong offensive option for Mai, right? The forward dash into throw loop is really strong.
Yeah.
And this is obviously game 4, so I decide that I'm not going to take any more throws, and I reversal, right? So was this wrong on your part? No, I think it's actually reasonable, right? If you think about what I had to spend to get out, the risk I had to take, and the damage you take here, right? It's not that much, given what you're able to do. But
Yeah, I felt like I was just gonna keep doing that until you let it rip eventually.
yeah, right. I mean,
Um,
and that makes sense, right? At some point, I have to do something, right?
yeah.
But if you look at the meter situation now, right, you could have had, well, it would have been okay, right? You're still ahead in meter a little bit, but if you had full meter, right, you'd be ahead,
That's
a drive
true.
rush ahead, basically, right? So not
That's
a
true.
huge deal now, but we'll see how the rest of the round goes. So here is where I thought you were the strongest in this kind of range here, right? Because you're able to throw fans effectively. You don't throw any here, but in the previous games you had been, right? And that range is really strong for that. Okay. So here's
Yeah.
the elephant in the room that I get everybody with, right? So if we look, right, what happens? So why does this happen, right? So it's a really common thing, happens to almost everybody at every level, right? So you had just blocked 3 lights from me, right? So there's no like threat of a throw or anything like that from here. I have to walk up and throw you. So right here, oops. Right here, right? So if we look here, right? So now this is neutral, right? So from right here, both of us, you can act. And from here, both of us can act, right? So if you look at the range that you're standing at here, obviously this is within crouching medium kick range, right? For both of us, you can actually it's within your crouching medium punch and crouching medium kick range. But for a lot of people though, after blocking this, you're kind of afraid of me doing something random, right? It's like, oh, you just blocked 3 lights. Let me take my turn back and then I EXTP you, right? Something like that. So that's a risk you have to consider, right? And am I the type of player to do that or not? You don't really know, right? We played it 3 games or so. Maybe I've taken some risks, maybe not, but you don't know that, right? So being conservative here is fine. The issue is that as soon as you start moving here, right, is when I throw this crouching me kick out, right? So let's take a look at the timing, right? So if you
Hell
look,
no.
right, 1, 2, 3, 4, right, I'd pause like a beat, right? Enough time for you to think you can move, and eclipse you right as you start to back up, right?
Yeah.
So this is very common because something happens. You're trying to block, like something, you block something or whatever, and you're left at a space that is too close for comfort, right? Like both our buttons can reach, and you're technically at advantage, and it's your turn, but it's hard to like in that -1 situation be like, oh, let me just press and take my turn back, right? Because if I press a light there, that might trade with whatever you press, right? Something like that. So it's very kind of subconscious for people to try to back up out of that range, right? So what I do is I know I'm minus here, but we go back to neutral. I wait a little bit and then I press my button, right? I don't cancel anything. I should have, but I was able to clip you as you're walking back, right? So normally that's a full combo into a corner, but it didn't quite happen. But the situation is kind of the same, right? And we saw this through most of the games that we played, was that you would just move back, right? So the thing you can do here to kind of adjust to this is to recognize that after the jab or after the button, that it is your turn, right? So, or in general situations, right, most buttons in the game are going to be minus on block, right? So especially after a light string like that. So recognizing that it is your turn and taking your turn back, right? So being okay with eating a random DP every once in a while, right? Because the alternative is you try to back up and you get clipped like this, and this is a worse situation now, right?
Yeah.
Alternatively, you can take your turn back, or you can just block, right? You don't have to necessarily move here, because if you just plant and wait, and I press my button into drive rush, right? It's on block, and yeah, I spend 3 bars here, but if it's on block, at least now there's a mix-up you have to defend versus just getting hit, right? So I think that situation is a little bit better than just getting hit outright. So at least because there you have a chance of like, delay teching, like teching my throw attempt or whatever. But the main thing is that you block the drive rush cancel, right? So
Yep.
all right, so here's where I thought it was a struggle for you a little bit, right? Being able to kind of contest me in this space where you can't throw a fan, right? So I was able to kind of, so if you look at what I'm doing to you here, let's let the sequence play out after this hit. Right? So what I was effectively able to do was kind of get inside of a space where you felt uncomfortable pressing buttons, right? So like your buttons would get blocked or whatever the case may be, but you weren't able to really get a clean hit, I guess, right? So you try to jump, I went air to air to you. You tried to do some other stuff, and you end up getting clipped right here, right? In this situation right here, after this, exact same thing as what we just looked at.
Oh my god, yes, that leg, bro.
Right? The crouching medium
that
kick,
leg.
it's the best, that's button of the year, right? For last year, whatever.
Snaky leg.
So, but yeah, that's what was happening here was that once we were in this spacing, I think you were kind of uncomfortable. You used some jabs because you were point blank, but if you look at what the button selection was before that, right? Right, you're trying to press heavies, right, to try to space me out here. Right, you try to space me out with this, which this is good, right? This is actually pretty good in terms of spacing, in terms of hitting me, right? So I can't really punish you even though it's -4 here. But it did feel uncomfortable, like you weren't really able to effectively control this space. Like I'm kind of just walking up, right? And then it should have been a DP. I missed it, but I get the air dare anyway. And then the same situation, but in this case actually it's a counter hit. So it looked like you were trying to press something else here. So let's take a look.
I don't know what I pressed here.
Medium punch. Okay. So here this is kind of tough, right? So you're minus after this, right? And if we look, I don't even delay all that much. Like I just press because it's my turn, right? And if you press anything that's kind of slow or you miss it, right? So in this case you pressed a little bit late here. Right, this is going to clip you. So what actually happened, right, is that I assumed you would move, actually. Right? I'm not really reacting or guessing that you're going to press a button here. I actually thought you were going to move again, right? So the same thing you did last time. The difference now is that you tried to press your stand medium punch here, and you pressed a little late, right? That is really the issue with that, right? So
I see. Yeah, I was trying to catch a match, but I'm not particularly sure what the best idea is. Like, out of those punches, I really felt like you were going to press that move. So I was thinking, okay, maybe I try to catch it with something else. I don't know if this is fast enough. Let me just press it anyway. Didn't really work out. Sorry.
Yeah. I think in those situations, the better option is to press something a little bit faster. I think my stand medium punch is a little bit slow. It's like 8 frames, something like that, 7-8 frames. So,
6, I think.
Yeah. Oh, let me take a super combo actually and take a look.
Yeah, it's frame 6 one.
Yeah. Okay, so 8 frames, right? So stand medium punch anyway is 8 frames. I think crouching medium punch is 6. So if you had pressed crouching medium punch there, I think that would have worked. You'd have to press it right away.
Or wait, did I press stand medium? I did press stand medium.
Yeah, you pressed stand medium here. I think that was your intention might have been to press this.
Yeah.
But you pressed the punch before the down. But at any rate, it was a little bit late, right? So you didn't press it right away. Right? There was like a 4-frame gap between the end of your jab and the button you pressed, right? So if we look, right here, so this gap right here, right? So if you had pressed your crouching medium punch like you were intended to do, and I didn't delay my crouching medium kick at all, right? And I pressed right away, it actually would have been a trade. Right? Or not a trade, sorry, you would have beat me, right? Because my move is slower than your move, and it would have just counter hit me there, right? The stand medium punch is the opposite, right? So since it's 8 frames and this is 7 frames -1, it would have been a trade if that's what had come out, right? Instead of like if your intention would have beaten me if you had pressed it right away. What actually came out would have traded if you had pressed it right away. But what actually ended up happening was you pressed it a little late, right? So you can chalk that up to a little bit of rollback, right? A little bit of delay, a little bit of lag, not a big deal. But I think that in general, in these minus frame situations like this, taking a greedy option like that can work if I had been taking my turn back aggressively, right? Which is what I've been doing. So if you see me going for those crouching medium kicks, right, or a stand or crouching medium punches, or like a stand heavy punch, something like that, after this situation, then pressing on your minus turns makes sense, right? Because it's going to be faster. But what I will say is that if I notice or see you doing that, I would adjust to pressing my stand medium kick, my 5 frame from this situation now, right? So that would counter hit your buttons basically, since you're minus, right? So
Right.
something to keep in mind, right? That's the adjustment I would make. Now, obviously, I don't have to make that because this worked out for me, right? But that's what would happen, next interaction if that's what you want to do, and then you adjust from there, right? So now that I'm taking my turn back with a slower button, maybe you just keep blocking, right? Maybe you do something else, but trying to be aggressive on your minus frames may not work out anymore, right? So. Right, so I backdashed. Got clipped by level 1 here.
Yeah.
So obviously my level 1 really, really strong. Really, really good for you, right? Doing double duty here, right? Getting me off of you, giving you stocks, right? And a way to fight out of this corner now. So
That was a fan. So here I'm looking for you to like attempt to jump here. I'm pretty sure. Not sure if you do. Oh well, that's supposed to be a fan.
Yeah,
that was
right
a heavy
here, right?
fan.
So here in this situation now, you're like looking for a jump, right? So
yeah.
Because the
That's
jump
why I
would
walk up a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, because the jump would make sense for me here, right? Like trying to get over your fan, trying to make a read on that. Let's see what I actually do. Yeah, so I stole a stock.
that was just pure greed. I'm not gonna lie.
And it would have been fine if it came out, right? So if it came out, 2 fans come out, one of them gets eaten by the fireball, and I just parry the other one, right? So if that situation, you'd be able to move up and take up space, right? So.
Yeah. Ass.
Late DP here, and then you get whiff punish on the stand heavy punch, right? So, really, what was happening here was that once you had stock, I gave you a ton of space to work with, right? So, I wasn't really interested in engaging with you up close because of your ability to throw fans now, right? So, like, I can't contest your fireball as easily from like the mid-range, right? So just outside of that, right? So my fireballs no longer are better than yours, right? So I wasn't really interested in contesting that until you ran out of stock, right? Or an opening presented itself, right? So I think the issue here is that you don't use the fan to take up more space, right? So here you had a really good idea, right? Walk forward, and then you walk back. Right? All that real estate you just gained with that stocked fan, you just gave up, right? And again, I'm not interested in getting close to you at this point, right? I'm trying to bait out stocks. I'm trying to basically take away this before I try to move in again, right? Because if I get hit by a fireball here, that could be game over for me, right? Given this health and meter situation, right? Or at least the health, right? Like if I get 1 or 2 fans, like that's not, I may die from that, right? So.
I think in this kind of situation, typically I'm used to people kind of rushing it and jumping in, trying to get past that fan because we're both low health. But you were definitely looking to ice out the install, which is something I wasn't peeping.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you have to make an adjustment to the player, right? So if I'm not interested in doing any of that, like trying to rush you down at that point, then just take up the space, right? Because again, you look like I gave up the entire screen to try to induce you to throw fans, right? So and it kind of worked, right? Like I was able to steal one of your stocks here, right, with that, and then right here now you're down to 2 stocks, but we're kind of close now. I get this anti-air, right? Okay, situation for you. This should have been game. I didn't confirm this, and I tried to, and then this whiffs, unfortunately. But yeah, I think like if you were to look at how that game went for you, I think it would have been, the tides might have turned a little bit had you decided to move in after you got the install, right? Because you fight your way out of the corner fairly effectively, but then you kind of give up the advantage you have of like being able to throw a fireball that I can't contest and then move forward through that, right? So you did it once, and that was absolutely, I think, the right thing to do in that situation. But then you gave it up right away, right? So
yeah. Honestly, all I had to do was throw like a medium or slow fan and just walk behind it.
Exactly, right? So, because what am I going to do, right? I can't jump, right? I have to thread that needle if I want to jump at you to bait out the DP, right? And if you space it correctly, there's no room for me to jump anymore, right? So, like, if you try to jump over it, you'll just DP me, right? There's no section I can stand in that will beat that, right? So, that's just what it is. And then here you get clipped trying to move back, right? Same
Yep,
deal.
there it is again.
Yeah, same deal, right? So you move into a space where it was a little uncomfortable after this drive rush.
Admittedly, this is partially, I think, me misspacing or at least misjudging the distance of your low medium kick, because this is me backing up to try and like whiff punish a press on you, but I was
Mhm.
in range. It's
Yeah,
just I gotta realize what range I'm in.
yeah. That's something you just have to get back into the game doing, right? Like, after a while, you play some games, you play a lot, and then eventually it'll become more clear. But yeah, that is something that I think that if you were trying to bait that out, that would have totally worked. But you did drive rush a little too close, right? So if you look,
Yep.
yeah, and then it was a little too close. Now, part of that could be just because Maya's minimum drive rush distance ended up being that. So, having to try to gauge how far she would slide and all that, and how much movement I might do in between might be a little tough, right? But yeah, and you end up getting clipped for that, right? So, again, if I
For
think
sure.
I think like if I were to try to break down the round, I think like what got you was moving backwards in neutral, basically, right? In any situation, right? So
Interesting.
after the blocks, after the strings and stuff, and then also moving back after you regain space once you got your install, right? So you threw a fan, move forward, then you backed up, right? So I think that for Mai in particular, once you have that install, you're and me as a player, I'm not interested in that. You just have to walk forward. There's nothing else I can really do about it, right? Throw a slow fan, or even just walk, right? Just walk forward and throw it. Because if I throw a
Yeah.
fireball and contest, right, it's a really huge risk for me because you can just throw a fireball and it blows it up, right? So
Hmm.
like throwing fireballs for me is kind of risky, at least at that mid screen. Now full screen it was totally fine, right? Like I throw a fireball and react to the fan coming in, right? Not a big deal. But any
Hmm.
closer than that, it's a huge risk for me to throw a fireball. So yeah, see like that, right? That situation
Here,
here.
I'm thinking you might DP,
Yeah, it,
at some point, or you might press. So that was kind of a bad call, but
yeah. I think it's fine. I think like going for that is fine. Trying to test to see what I'm gonna do is okay, right? I think that's not a necessarily incorrect. What makes that tough is you had to spend 3 bars to do that, right? So you throw the
exactly, it's
OD
so
fan,
expensive.
yeah, right. So I parry the first thing. Now there's a decision I have to make here, right? Do I DP? Do I continue parrying, right? Or what do I do? So I just end up holding parry the whole time. You go for your string, then you back off, right? So it was a very conservative option for me, right? I just held parry and tried to block it out, right? Because if you had gone for throw here, I'd take the punch down to throw.
Yeah.
But you had done that a couple of times already, so I was like, I don't think they're gonna throw again, right? So
Fair
I ended up
enough.
hedging and just going for a parry here, right? So it worked out. It worked out for me. And now the situation is kind of tough on your part, right? You only have one more drive rush cancel now in the tank. It's very expensive to do that. I have full meter, full bar, right? And nothing's happened yet, so let's see what happens. You take your frame advantage and just hit me with it. It's good. So anti-air is good to get a little bit rough toward the end, right? Probably
Yeah.
because the mental stack is a little high because I'm just walking forward at you, right? Like I'm not doing anything fancy. There's no dragon lashes. There's no, drive rush, raw drive rush in particular. I don't do that too often. I'm just kind of walking forward, and it's like, well, how do I deal with that now, right? Because I can't check the walk forward because I might get whiff punished, right? So
Yeah.
because of that, I think anti-air can get a little tough, right? So. All right, so here again, I think is the same situation. Let's take a look. Right, so after that's blocked,
Do I press here? I Wow,
yeah,
frame
I
one.
caught you right as you were standing. Right, so lucky on my part for sure, but
Insane.
the instinct for me to press there has been the same throughout our set basically, right? So
Yeah.
if you look at the situation, it's exactly the same as before, right? So something happens, right? I actually could have pressed something here if I wanted to. I don't, because you whiff it, and then I just wait a beat and then press, right? So if you had blocked for
Crazy.
just a little bit longer, I would have been, obviously would have been blocked, right? Or if I had delayed a little bit, if I delayed a little bit less, it also would have been blocked, right? But the same idea was there. It's just that the timing was very close this time, right? So the same idea though, right? Is that, oh, I just did something, it was blocked. I'm in a space that sucks for me, and I need to back up, right? So that's
Yeah, it's like how you say there is a certain space where pretty much all characters it's kind of like around here where it gets kind of uncomfortable for me because it's like I feel like I'm going to get clipped by something, so I
Yeah.
become more defensive, even though I can press something too.
Yeah. And it's very common, right? Because people press a lot in general, right?
Yes.
Through master, through high master, even in grandmaster. I don't know, ultimate master maybe less so, but even in grandmaster, like when I play people press a lot of buttons, right? It obviously goes down, right, as you go up in rank, but that is something that's very common. Is that people are always pressing, and if you
Hmm.
are any level of minus and you try to do something, you'll counter hit, right? So trying to be careful about your button presses makes a lot of sense. Trying to space people out makes a lot of sense. But if your opponent reads that's what you're trying to do, then that's how you get clip walking back, right? So
Yep.
that all said, this sequence is actually pretty good from you, right? So after this, right? So I missed my Oki because I don't input it correctly. But this is still a very difficult situation now, right? So you're cornered. You can't throw fans because you'll get counter hit, right? If you try to do something and I just press a button. You can't really jump because I'll anti-air you. I mean, ideally. And now
Yep.
you can't really adjust space either by backing up because you're cornered.
This is
So
the spot that I don't like. It's not very favorable.
yeah, this is very, very difficult, right? Especially the way I'm playing you here, right? I'm not interested, in particular anyway, in forcing guess situations, right? So I knocked you down and missed my Oki. I can't really get that anymore. So now what I'm interested in is keeping you in the corner. So my job now is to press buttons to keep you cornered and try to induce you to make a mistake, right? So walking forward, you get clipped or something like that, or I whiff punish something, because I've taken away your ability to create space now, right? So you can't whiff punish me as effectively. So the only options available to you now are to try to cover attack when I walk in by pressing a button, or you walk up and hit me, right? Like you walk up and just take up the space and press a button.
Yeah.
Both of those things are very risky, right? So, but let's see how you defend, because you defend this pretty well. Right. So you clip me there because I get a little greedy with my button presses. Good. Whiff punish here, right? Perfect. Out of the corner, right? So what had happened, right, was I made a bit of a mistake here by going for something greedy, right? So after that was out of range, right? So this button press for me here was totally incorrect, right? In terms of what should have been happening. This button is like way out of range of everything. So you hit me with this. Out of the corner. Perfect. Right, and then you're able to throw a fan again, right? So here you've taken full control of the round now, right? You throw a charged fan. I have to deal with this mix-up now. I get clipped low. And then now I'm cornered, right? So what do I do? Delay tech, and you land the jump in.
Awful misinput here, by the way. I meant to.
Right?
Tragic.
Yeah, so I get out of the situation. How does this happen, right? So I just press.
Catch my shimmy, huh?
Yeah, actually, I catch you pressing. So
Yeah.
I did a delayed crouch medium kick here because I wasn't quite sure if you were going to shimmy me or not, right? So I kind of waited a little bit to see. What a lot of people will do in the situation is they'll kind of back up expecting a reversal, and then as soon as they don't see one, they'll press, right? And this is exactly what happened. You press your stand heavy punch here. So I just went for a faster button. That's all that really happened, right? So now here is very tough for me, right? Can I come back from this? Is really hard. So let's see what happens. Right, trade. And then I miss my whiff punish here, and you're able to beat me because I misspaced my stand heavy kick, right? So the crux of this round, I think, was the fact that you were able to get out of the corner earlier, right? So if I'd kept you cornered, I think this round goes a little differently, right? But you're able to fight your way out, and then you get a couple of good fan mixes to open me up. And then there was a conversion. You probably could have been better on the jump in, but you played that round pretty well, right? It was a little hairy toward the end. I had you cornered, right, and it was a little tough. But you're able to get a straight hit in, and that finished me off, right? So that's good stuff. Right, so that was a better reaction to what had happened there, right? You went for parry instead. I had been going for delayed crouch medium kicks a lot, so going for parry there makes a lot of sense, I think, right? If that's the read you have on me.
Yeah, I was trying to perfect parry it.
Yeah. And then here, I think what happened is you either delay tech or press something. So let's see.
I delay tech for sure.
Yeah, that's right here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think here, though, the delay tech should not have gotten opened up like that. So I think what happened was you pressed it a little too soon. So let's see.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, so here is the crouching medium punch. Hey, Bagel, thanks for the sub, dude. And then, so, yeah.
Yep.
A little
Yeah,
bit too
too
many
early.
delay tech, yeah, a little early. Also, you're not blocking, right? So you need to be blocking on the delay tech, right? So obviously, this is going to get hit, actually, right? So anyway.
Yeah. Whoops.
I missed that confirm earlier in the set. I was really mad about it. I ended up just deeping, but anyway. But yeah, just be careful in those post-stream situations. Make sure your delay tech is actually delayed and it's not pressing anything, right? And you're blocking
What
too.
the hell am I pressing there?
Yeah, this is very common too. Not gonna lie to you. See a lot of people do this, right? Get hit,
I don't know what I'm doing there.
and then you're just kind of pressing buttons, right? To be fair, this is gonna get you a back roll, right? So it could be just you're holding. Do you play on controller or what?
I'm actually on a keyboard.
Keyboard,
So
okay. So it could just be you're pressing some stuff and.
might just be me trying to buffer a back roll or something like
Yeah,
that.
it could have been. You know, it is what it is. It doesn't matter, right? I mean, you're pressing things during backward doesn't make a huge difference.
Funny to notice.
Right, so now it's just a matter of me walking to the corner, right? Right, get whiff punished here. So how did this whiff punish happen, right? So let's take a look. Because if you look, I'm not reacting to this.
I'll tell you what I did here is that I knew you were going to shimmy, but it was a horrible button to use to call it out. Like I shouldn't be using a light punch here to call that out. I should just be using sweep or something like that. If I really feel like you're gonna shimmy.
Yeah, wake up low. Because you're out of the corner if you do that, right?
Yeah.
So instead what happens here is I actually back up to a space where my stand heavy punch would hit. And then I just press. Right, so it wasn't really a whiff punish on my part here. If you look at the frame, there's no way I reacted that fast, right? That's not reasonable. But what really allowed me to get away with that, though, is that I'm standing at a range where my stand heavy punch would outrange some of your lights, and it's probably going to hit the tip, right? It's a little close, actually, if you look at where I press this. So I probably could be a little bit further away, but, you know, it still hits you effectively here, right? So if you had woken up with a low, would that have been better? Probably, right? If you wanted to call it the shimmy there. The thing is, I am backing up a little bit early, so, you know, would it have worked? I think it probably would have, actually. So that's just unfortunate you get clipped here. So yeah, button selection wise, right, if I'm standing at this range, right here, I think the light may not have made sense, especially for Mai's lights that are a little bit short, right? If you're like a Shoto, stand medium kick might have worked here, but Mai's lights don't go that far, right? So medium would be better here, yeah.
And actually, there was a moment, I don't know when it was, I gave you so much damage here, oh my god. I gave you so much damage.
This is Ken damage, right? So I had to spend 3 bars and a level 3, and it's 5,200. Right, so Ryu does that, you're dead. Akuma does that, you're dead.
Yeah.
Right. So, but at any rate, now it's guesswork game for you here, right? Like you have to find a way out from here, and it's very difficult now, right?
Yeah.
That's a good start.
Right. I wanted my drive meter back, so that's why I spent here. It's kind of expensive for me to.
Perfectly fine. No, I think it's worth it. Because you're gonna die if you don't spend it here, right? Yeah. Like you could die next interaction, so you might as well spend this, right? So it makes a lot of sense. Get your drive back. What happened, right?
Filter.
Ooh. All right. Okay, so here it's back to neutral.
Why would I jump here?
So that was a high risk, right? So I should have DP'd you. I don't, unfortunately. But if I DP'd you there, I don't know if that kills you or not, but it's really high risk where you jump there.
The XDP does.
Yeah. If I had reacted to it, yeah. But unfortunately, you get clipped by the crouching medium kick again, right? So.
Story of my life.
Yeah. Alright, so after this jump, that doesn't get DP'd, right? What actually happens here is I press a button as you're getting into a space where my crouching kick will reach, right? It's not actually a reaction on my part to like what you're doing here. I just press my button at a space that makes sense to press it. So if you look at how close this was, right? So this was after the jump in, right? It's blocked. I can't really do anything here. Right, I'm minus, so now it's neutral.
So,
And right
so
here,
mm,
I actually expected you to walk forward, not press a button. Actually, so I
I
was
was expecting you to press that button just earlier. That was an attempt to like really it was kind of a auto-timed
mhm.
attempt at a whiff punish. It was not a reaction. It was just mashing,
Yeah,
trying to
and
catch you.
same on me,
But,
right? I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for my minus streams to end here, and then I just
mm,
press at a space where I think you're gonna walk forward, right? Because I thought you would walk forward and press like a medium button, right? That's what I was thinking. Now
fair
you go for
enough.
the heavy kick instead, and unfortunately, this is a lot slower of a button than this button.
Yeah.
So if you had pressed like a crouching medium punch or something here, maybe that's different. But it's really difficult, right? Because if you look at this space here, all of my mediums will probably not reach. Maybe stand medium punch, maybe. But
No.
it's tough, right? Like if I don't press anything
Uh,
here from right here,
I'm just whiffing in front of you.
yeah. Well, in
Yeah.
this case, actually, I'm pressing a faster button.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. But here, it's tough to say I'm gonna press a medium here, right? Pressing a heavy might make sense. The issue ends up being that I press my button and my heavy kick moves her forward, right? So that's just a space thing, in my opinion. So if you had backed up a little bit and then pressed it, or waited a tick, try to get the right spacing to press the button, maybe this lands and maybe you're able to get the punish counter into drive rush, right, and confirm. But unfortunately, it just clips you, right? So
Honestly, just walking up a little bit or just throwing an EX fan probably just would have been a million times better.
I think so. Trying to take up the space because I was backing up, right?
Yeah.
I just gotten supered. I'm trying to reestablish some space, right? Trying and you throwing an EX fan there might have made sense because you had meter to do it, right? So, but yeah, if I had to take anything away from our set, it really just comes down to like spacing stuff in neutral. Because I think if we look at some of the if we wanted to look at those games, we could. But if we looked at the previous games, like the ones you won and the rounds you won, you're able to open me up effectively with fan pressure. You're able to keep me in the corner and apply pressure that way, right? So I think those aspects of your game are fine, as well as some of the defensive decisions you were making were also mostly okay. I mean, obviously it's very difficult to play in the corner, but we saw in this game that you were able to get out just fine, right? I mean, there obviously was ones where I was able to beat you because you're in the corner, and that's just Street Fighter 6. But I think that like those aspects of your game are mostly fine. It just comes down to space and neutral, and it's very common, right? It's very common for a lot of players, like kind of at this master. I would say you're probably in like the 1500 ish bracket, probably 15 1600. If you were to play ranked, put you there. It's just that spacing stuff starts to really matter, right? Like if you look at the interactions
Yeah.
we had, a lot of it just boiled down to me standing at the right spot and pressing the right button, right? I wasn't necessarily doing any crazy whiff punishes or like crazy reads or anything like that. I was just not pressing buttons at spaces where it'll whiff or at spaces doesn't make sense, right? So like I wasn't point blank pushing a heavy button, right, trying to clip you with something,
Yeah.
right? It wasn't
Right.
like that, right? So cool.
Understandable.
Yeah. So let's take a look at one of your replays here. You said you had some stuff on here, so let's take a look.
Actually, I am pained to say this, but I do have to wake up in 7 hours,
Oh,
so I
okay.
might have to cut this short.
Yeah, all good, all good. Because you're East Coast, right?
Yes, I am East
Cool
Coast.
deal, cool deal.
Unfortunately, I have to wake up tomorrow.
Yeah, all good. So let's just call it there then. I think like if you take a look at the VOD later, you can look at how the rest of the games we were playing, see how it was going. But yeah, to sum it up, I think that just make sure that your spacing is not like just don't whiff buttons in neutral, I guess is what I'll say, right? Make sure you stand in spacing where you'll hit with the tip of your button. Make sure it doesn't whiff, and make sure that you press light buttons when you're close, heavy buttons when you're further away, right? Like make sure the frame advantage makes sense. So yeah, man, cool. We'll wrap up there. Anything else you want to ask before we close it out?
No, I'm all good. I appreciate the assistance. I've actually been waiting to do one of these because I've been in Japan for the past year.
Oh,
So I
gotcha,
was like,
gotcha. Yeah,
yeah,
I know you had mentioned you were in Asia the last few times. Like I see your ping and all that. So I know it's been a while, but all right, cool, man. So let's call it there. So thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
of course, thank you for having me, and I
Yeah,
would love to do this again sometime. I know we're supposed to do another first of three, but
yeah, all good.
short on
We
time.
can run
So
it back anytime. Yeah, no big deal.
got you.
All right, man.
Yo, have a good night. I
Yeah,
suppose. Yeah.
take care. Yeah, have a good one.
Peace.
Cool, guys. So this has been Sit Down and Shut Up. A little bit shorter session today, obviously, but it's all good. I think we covered everything we need to cover. I run this through the Fight Rise Discord. So Fight Rise is a fighting community focused on Street Fighter 6. They do bi-weekly events through their One Fight Stand series. It is a 7-round Swiss tournament for folks. If you are in Master, if you're not in Master or you're below Master, we'll try to put you into a round robin pool with other folks that are also not Master. Usually ends up being 8 rounds, but depends on how many signups we get. We also do community showcase events to the Urge to Fight series. So Urge to Fight is, like I said, community showcase. You get to see some folks from the community that have been playing the game, leveling up, and they get to be on stream. They get to stream their matches commentated. They run for a fun format. It's a great time. If you're interested in that, take a look at the Discord for that. Or sorry, you can take a look at the previous Urge to Fights on twitch.tv/FightersFGC. I think it's also on the YouTube channel, if I'm not mistaken. Slam Jamicus, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Yeah, no worries, man. Appreciate it. So, like I was saying, Urge Fight, great event. I do commentary for them sometimes. What's coming up though now, and this is more interesting I think to folks, is their Big League KO. So Big League KO is a league format. It is a 8-person pool, and you play a round robin tournament basically with 8 people in your pool. So you get 7 rounds. They're all first to 5s, and it's flexible scheduling. So you get 2 matches a week over the course of 4 weeks, with one last week for makeups in case you need it, right? So really, really popular format. People seem to really like playing this style because you get flexible scheduling, you get longer sets with people, etc. The signups for that will be opening up soon. If you are very interested in that, make sure you do sign up early, or at least take a look at the Discord, see when the signups are going to open up, and be ready to click that join button because it fills up really quickly. It's a lot of fun. There are multiple pools that play out, so if you are at any rank, I think it's Diamond or above is the limitation these days. If you are at any of those ranks, any level of Master, they'll find some folks for you to play with. It's a lot of fun. And if you are I think it's top 2, I'll take a look at the rules, but if you win your bracket, or at least finish very well in your bracket, there's a postseason that gets played out. So you get to play another tournament after that, and then the finals for that will be streamed in an Urge to Fight event, if I'm not mistaken. So again, a lot of fun, very popular event. So if that's something you're interested in, be sure to join the Discord. Take a look at when that's scheduled, and be ready to join when it opens up. If you like what I do here, or you're interested in coaching session for yourself or coaching in general, take a look at the Fight Rise Discord under Level Up. There are other channels between myself, Satora, and Jason Loserpants, who also do coaching for the Fight Rise community. So if any of us as coaches interest you, please take a look at that. Sign up for coaching. All of us have our threads. You can take a look at the pinned posts, and you can see how to sign up for a session. I'm also part of the Newbie Fight Club. So Newbie Fight Club is a fighting community focused on getting newer players into fighting games, mostly Street Fighter 6. So they run lobby nights every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Wednesday is the main newbie night. So if you are new to the game and want to play, please take a look at Wednesday nights. Join the Discord, take a look at the scheduling, join VC, get some games. It's a lot of fun. Mondays are the modern night. So if you are interested in modern or play modern and like to play other modern folks, Mondays would be a good day to do that. It's not mandatory to play modern, but it's encouraged. Try to change it up. Fridays are generally a open lobby. So if you want to just get in and get games, hang out, it's always a good time for that. I believe they have moved the bi-weekly events to Sundays. So they used to run what was called Fleeting Flash Friday. I'm not sure what they call it now, but it's on Sunday, I believe. They run events on, I think it's usually a Swiss tournament, 7-round Swiss tournament on Sundays now, I think is what it's going to be. Take a look at Discord for details. I know they've moved it recently, so just take a look and you'll see it. Also, they still, I believe, are running a Modern Monthly. So if you're a Modern Warrior and like to fight other Modern Warriors in a tournament, and play other high-ranked Modern Warriors, actually, take a look at the Discord, see when the next signups are. I believe it's a monthly, so some big names show up to that. It's a lot of fun for the folks that are involved there, so it's a good time. So thanks again, everybody. I really appreciate your follows, your subscriptions, your chats, and all that stuff, your messages. I know I don't always respond to everybody while I'm doing the training, but I really do appreciate I see it, and thank you guys so much. This has been Sit Down, Shut Up. Appreciate you guys, and have a good night.